Yeah, that's my favorite part of the day.
You deliver those with so much passion.
I try to be consistent. I try.
What did you learn about your team through the first two series that you believe will help you in this series against Minnesota, whether it be from a mentality or a focus standpoint?
Yeah, I think just understanding, their ability to, execute the game plan, and being able to pivot if things aren't going well or things we need to make a change. Just understanding that group can make that change on the run. Understanding that we've been down in the sense of 30-some points to come back to take a lead, to be down 16 at half in Game 6, and to work the game to still believe that we can win. And so there's a lot of trust, a lot of belief in one another, and I think it's a fun group to be around.
Jason, when the younger guys go in, they seem to just have so much confidence and kind of rise to the pressure. Who's the veteran presence that's really pouring into them and kind of helping them through this process?
Yeah, I think when you look at Markieff and Kai, those are the two vets that have really used their voice to help the younger guys. Then the younger guys give them credit to listening and absorbing that information and being able to use it in the games and days off, being able to, to listen. A lot of times we can say we're listening, but I really, believe that those younger guys are listening to Keith and to Kai.
Does the heart of this team remind you of the 22 team?
That's a good question. Two different teams. Totally. They're different in a lot of ways. And so heart is probably different too. This team is probably a little bit more talented than that first group, and that's not being negative but this group has a lot of talent.
How do you think Luka's different now from 2 years ago?
Well, yeah, led the league in scoring. He was probably on the cusp of being one of the best players in the world then, but now he's one of the best players in the world. He's older. His maturity, he's seen every defense, the double teams, so being able to use his experience here. I think, again, the experience going through the last couple years, understanding 22 and then last year, and then now being able to use those 2 years to get where we are today. Yeah, I think so. I think he's different in that way. And then he's worked on his game, and he's gotten better.
Coach, I don't know if you've seen this over the years, but Karl Anthony Towns has been pretty public in his belief that he thinks he's the best shooting big man in NBA history. But that topic is a pretty sensitive one for us around here. You played with a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Agree with Karl Anthony Towns on that?
Everyone has a right to their opinion, especially now. But yeah, he can shoot it. He can definitely shoot it. You look at Cat's. He's a very confident young man. He's one of the best bigs in this league. He can't shoot the three at a high rate. He can put it on the floor. He can score. And so, I think he could be one of the top big men shooting. Dirk was one of the first to start that. So I think Dirk would definitely have something to say. But I think Dirk opened the door for a lot of the bigs to become shooters. And so is Cat the best big man shooter? Only time will tell. We'll see. It's still early.
Coach, I guess going off that to an extent, how much of an impact do you think it has on the current team to have Dirk come to games and just kind of be around the team?
It's great. You're talking about the best player to ever play or put on a Mavs jersey. We get to drive by that statue every home game. So it's great that he when he's in town to be able to come to the games and hang out. Yeah, that's. I don't know what else I can say.
Well, do you think it gives some of the younger guys maybe extra motivation to see a legend like Dirk sitting there watching them?
That's a question for them. They might not know who he is, so unless he stands up, yeah, that's a question for them. Dirk is a special human being, and it's great for him to be around the Mavs, and hopefully he's around the Mavs a little bit more as we go forward.
Coach, you talked about D. Jones being the last signed guy before the season. He mentioned feeling like people had confidence in him almost immediately. What did you see in him that gave you the reason to instill that confidence that he could be what he is right now for you guys?
Yeah, I think I've answered that in the sense of I've seen him on the other side, and I felt if we ever got an opportunity to get someone or get D. Jones, he could bring something that we didn't have. We've joked about the layup line, but just his ability to play defense. What he's done, being here, is he's worked on his game, and you could see that being able to shoot the three at a high clip for us, the open shots he's getting. But the one thing he's been really consistent with from the time we talked on the phone is that he just wants to win, and you can see that spirit. And as a teammate, start or come off the bench, he's going to give everything he has, and that's pretty cool.
How do you guys avoid a slow start in game one? Obviously, you've had another day of rest, and you've joked about it in times in terms of what that means for you guys in terms of play on the court. How do you guys avoid that and hopefully try to take the crowd up in Minnesota in game one?
We're going to try our best not to have a slow start. Game ones have always been a struggle for us, so hopefully we can turn that around in this series. We'll get an opportunity tomorrow night. But playing in Minnesota is a tough place to play. The crowd is on top of you. It's a great atmosphere, and they got a really good team, and they're well coached. So we got our work cut out, but we definitely know that we've gotten off to slow starts in series. So we want to try to change that tomorrow.
Coach, there's a photo of you guarding Kyrie in Cleveland in his early years, and now you coaching him. So from a player to a coach perspective, what is it like to see Kyrie have the success as a Dallas Maverick?
It's great to see him have the success here in Dallas. I'm very fortunate to have a talented player like him to be able to coach. I haven't seen that photo, but I probably stopped him.
Some hand check.
No, yeah, hand check probably fouled him. I got the benefit of the call, or he probably did score. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know if I was guarding him. I was probably around him. But it's great to be with him. I've gotten to know him before this, and so it's great to see him flourish the way that we thought he could. And he's again one of our leaders. He's one of the calming influences on the team and in that locker room, and we're going to need that in this series.
When you play game to game, two good defenses, the physicality, the way it's reffed, how quickly do you communicate to players, hey, they're calling it tighter right now? Do you feel that in game? Is that something you talk about when you see the refs come out? Do you not worry about it? Like, how do you approach that, especially in a series with two great defensive teams?
Yeah, you got to understand how it's going to be called. You look at who's refereeing, and then you look at the first 4 or 5 minutes of how things are going. PJ has picked up 2 quick fouls here. We got to, we've talked about that. We got to, make sure that he doesn't do that in this series. But you do have to be able to pivot. If the game is going to be physical and they're going to let you be physical, then you got to be consistent in that area. If not, we got to move our feet and make sure that we're not in foul trouble. And again, Minnesota's going to put a lot of pressure on your defense, and so we'll see how the game is being officiated. If it's physical, we're good with that. If it's not physical, then we're good with that too. But we're going to find out very quickly in the first 3 or 4 minutes how the game's being officiated.